If you've been with me on this channel for a little while, then you know that I've been conducting a series of interviews with veteran leadership and executive coaches. I've been having these long form interviews to give you a lot of insight into the world of leadership and executive coaching and to give you ideas on how you can be a more effective coach and have a more successful practice. In this clip, I've taken a selected question and answer from one of the past interviews to give you an opportunity to reinforce an existing point if you've already watched the whole interview, or to give you an opportunity to just learn a little bit from this executive coach. If you like this question and answer and you haven't watched the whole interview, I highly recommend that you find it on this channel and do so. The next question is related to thought leadership. Know that not only do you need to learn how to sell yourself as a coach, but you need to also learn how to distinguish yourself as a coach and separate yourself. There are many, many coaches entering the profession every year, and it's becoming more and more competitive. How do you establish yourself as a thought leader in coaching? What have you found to be effective?
Well, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with building your brand. And so you really do want to brand yourself as the go-to person. You want to brand yourself as the expert. So how do you do that? Well, you want to do some blogs. You're going to probably write about some things that you know about, or some things that you want business owners to think about. So for me, I do some blogging. I'll post some things sometimes weekly, for sure, monthly. Newsletters are not bad. I know that a lot of people feel like, well, that's kind of old school, but if you're putting something out there that can benefit somebody, and you can do that on a monthly basis or a weekly basis, you should do that. For me, I use video. I know you use a lot of video too, and so you can use video a couple of different ways. You can provide tips to people. What's going on like now, typically between August and October, it's time to start thinking about the next year. So start thinking about your vision and your mission for next year. So putting that out there. I like to interview other business owners to pick their brain a little bit, what's going on with them and what kind of problems are they up against, and put that out there so that other business owners realize that it's not just them, that we all go through highs and lows. We all win and we all sometimes lose. So doing those kinds of things, and again, contributing to the community as well. There are a lot of things that you can do locally, whether you're talking about just basic community service, whether you're talking about chambers of commerce, whether you're talking about other organizations where you can lend yourself, whether it's working with teams, whether it's just in general strategic planning, providing assessments of organizations. And I'm not saying you have to do everything for free, but when you do put yourself out there, you are working or doing a work in the community, and you're providing resources. And so I think it's important to do that. If you do those things, then people will say, well, wow, Mike is doing these things. If I paid him, what would I get from him if I paid him? Maybe I'd get threefold, and so I think it comes back at you when you give to the community gives back. So.
Right. So I feel like that was actually an answer to two questions. One was being a thought leader, with the blogging, doing videos, doing presentations, newsletter, blog, and articles, and so forth. But also a secondary question, which is how do you market yourself? How do you make yourself visible?
Right.
And you've shared some ideas around that as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important for thought leaders. I think it's important for leaders to give back and to do some things in the community. And if we're not going to do it as leaders, who do we think should do it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. A few years ago, I felt this strong calling to start giving back more, and doing that in my life. And recently, I joined the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, and I'm a milestone coach where I provide pro bono coaching to a startup founder for a 12-week sprint. and it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. That it's not about the money. When you're coaching somebody who's starting up a business, and they're serious about growth, and it ain't about the money, but it's about helping them to achieve a milestone. And it's terrific. It's been a real reward for me.